The Imperial scout ship emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system. Its sleek, metallic hull reflected the distant sunlight as it moved silently through space. On the bridge, Commander First Class Miller of the Galactic Empire stood with his hands clasped behind his back, studying the readings from the primitive solar system ahead. "Sir, we're detecting unusual energy signatures from the third planet," reported one of his officers. "They're unlike anything in our database." Miller raised an eyebrow. This was supposed to be a routine survey of yet another pre-spaceflight civilization. The Empire had conquered 47 worlds in the past century alone, and none had presented any significant challenge. But these readings were interesting. "Move us closer," he ordered. "Maintain stealth systems." As the scout ship approached Earth, more anomalies appeared on their screens. The planet was surrounded by a network of satellites and space stations, primitive by Imperial standards, but far more advanced than their initial scans had suggested. But what truly caught Miller's attention was the faint shimmer that occasionally appeared around major population centers. "Are those shields?" he muttered to himself. The answer came sooner than expected. 3 Earth vessels appeared seemingly out of nowhere, their designs unlike anything in Imperial records. They were smaller than the scout ship, but moved with impressive speed and precision. A communication request pinged on their console. "This is Captain James Walker of the Earth Defense Force. You have entered restricted space. Identify yourself immediately." Miller smiled. These humans were more entertaining than he had anticipated. He opened the channel. "This is Commander Miller of the Galactic Empire. We claim this sector in the name of His Imperial Majesty. Prepare for inspection and integration into the Empire." There was a pause before the response came. "Negative, Commander. Earth is a sovereign planet. We do not recognize your authority in this system." Miller laughed. Such defiance was common among newly discovered species. It always made their eventual submission more satisfying. "Perhaps I should clarify," Miller said. "The Empire doesn't request permission. We have conquered 47 civilizations more advanced than yours. Resistance is pointless." The Earth ships didn't move. Instead, Captain Walker's voice came through again, calm and unwavering. "Commander Miller, we are transmitting coordinates for a diplomatic meeting. You may bring 1 shuttle and 3 representatives. Any deviation from this will be considered an act of war." Before Miller could respond, his tactical officer called out in alarm. "Sir, we're detecting energy readings. They're massive. Some kind of shield grid just activated around the entire planet." Miller stared at the view screen as a faint blue glow enveloped Earth, rippling like water in sunlight. Their sensors couldn't penetrate it. Whatever technology the humans were using, it wasn't in any Imperial database. 24 hours later, Miller stood in a conference room in Geneva, Earth's diplomatic center. Lord Marcus, the Empire's chief negotiator, had arrived through faster-than-light travel to handle this unexpected situation personally. The human leadership sat across the table, military officers, scientists, and government officials from various nations. They showed no fear, no submission. Instead, they watched the Imperial representatives with calm confidence. Lord Marcus spoke first, his voice carrying the weight of 10,000 conquered worlds. "Earth has 2 choices. Join the Empire willingly and benefit from our technology and protection, or face conquest. Those are your only options." Admiral Helen Stone, the head of Earth's United Defense Forces, leaned forward. "You're operating under a misconception, Lord Marcus. Those aren't our only options." She pressed a button, and a holographic display appeared above the table, showing the quantum shield technology that protected Earth. It was elegant in its complexity, far beyond what the Empire had expected from this world. "We've been watching you for years," Admiral Stone continued. "We know about the worlds you've conquered. We know about the civilizations you've destroyed. And we know exactly how to stop you." Lord Marcus's face darkened. "You dare threaten the Empire?" "No," Admiral Stone replied calmly. "This isn't a threat. This is a declaration. Earth is closed to the Galactic Empire. Any hostile action will be met with force. We recommend you choose your next moves carefully. As Miller watched the exchange, he realized that this routine survey mission had just become something much more significant. The Empire had found its first real challenge in centuries, and somehow, he knew this peaceful conference room in Geneva would be remembered as the place where everything changed. 3 days after the Geneva meeting, Lord Marcus stood before the Imperial Council on their capital ship, his pride still stinging from Earth's defiance. The massive chamber, with its towering columns and golden decorations, usually filled him with confidence. Today, it only reminded him of his failure. "You mean to tell us," Emperor Richard spoke from his elevated throne, "that a single primitive world dares to refuse our generous offer?" "Your Majesty," Lord Marcus bowed deeply, "these humans have developed technology we've never seen before. Their quantum shields are irrelevant." The Emperor cut him off. "No civilization has ever resisted us for long. Prepare the fleet." Deep beneath the Swiss Alps, Earth's military leaders gathered in their most secure bunker. The room hummed with energy as Admiral Stone displayed the latest intelligence data on a large screen. "The Empire has started moving their fleet," she announced to the assembled leaders. "Our deep space probes count at least 300 warships." General Robert Cole, commander of Earth's ground forces, studied the numbers. "They still think we're primitive." "That's good." Dr. Thomas Reed, head of Earth's Science Division, stepped forward. His normally neat lab coat was wrinkled from 3 days without sleep. "The reverse engineering of their scout ship's technology is complete. They're in for quite a surprise." On the screen, a simulation played out. It showed how Earth had secretly captured and studied dozens of Imperial probe droids over the past 5 years. Each one had revealed new secrets about Imperial technology. "Their biggest weakness," Dr. Reed explained, pointing to the display, "is that they stopped innovating. They've used the same technology for over 300 years. Why improve when you have no real competition?" Admiral Stone nodded. "And that's their mistake. They think they're hunting sheep, but they just walked into a wolf den." Around the world, preparations accelerated. In hidden underground factories, new weapons rolled off assembly lines. The quantum shield generators, Earth's greatest secret, powered up to full capacity. Unlike the Empire's energy shields, these could not be penetrated by any known weapon. Dr. Reed's team had done something the Empire thought impossible. They had merged human innovation with stolen Imperial technology, creating something entirely new. Their ships might be fewer, but each one carried the power of human ingenuity. "Launch the satellites," Admiral Stone ordered. Across the globe, innocent-looking weather satellites broke from their orbits. Within hours, Earth had a complete defense grid in space. Each satellite carried a quantum shield generator and weapons that even the Empire couldn't detect. In orbit, Captain Walker commanded the space station that would coordinate Earth's defense. He watched as his crew ran final checks on their systems. The Empire thought Earth had only a handful of ships. They didn't know about the hundreds hidden behind the moon, or the automated defense platforms disguised as space debris. "Status report," he called out. "All systems green, sir," his officer replied. "Quantum shields at full power. All defense platforms in position. Ground-based cannons ready." Walker smiled. Humanity had spent years preparing for this moment. Ever since their first detection of Imperial ships at the edge of the solar system, Earth had known this day would come. In his private lab, Dr. Reed made final adjustments to his latest creation. The device looked simple, just a small black box with a blue light. But inside was technology that would change everything. He had found a way to turn the Empire's own weapons against them. "Begin final testing," he ordered his team. The box hummed to life. On their screens, Imperial targeting systems went haywire. Their sensors would see thousands of false targets, making their advanced weapons worse than useless. Admiral Stone stood at the command center window, looking up at the night sky. Somewhere up there, the Empire's fleet was approaching, confident in their superiority. They thought they were dealing with just another primitive world to add to their collection. "Send the message to all commands," she ordered. "Operation Lighthouse is now active." As her words echoed through Earth's communications network, lights began to shine across the planet. Not the usual city lights, but the soft blue glow of quantum shields powering up. From space, Earth must have looked like a jewel wrapped in blue fire. The Empire's mistake wasn't just underestimating Earth's technology. Their real mistake was thinking that humans would ever bow to tyranny. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. The Earth's final preparations moved at full speed as the Imperial fleet approached the outer edges of the solar system. In the massive underground chamber beneath Moscow, Dr. Maria Torres worked with her team on the last set of quantum shield generators. "Check the power flow again," she ordered, her eyes fixed on the glowing blue core. "We can't risk even a 1-second gap in coverage." The shield generator hummed louder, its quantum matrix spinning faster than any Imperial sensor could detect. This was the 47th generator of its kind, completing the ground-based defense network that would protect Earth's major cities. Above the planet, Captain Walker moved through the corridors of Earth's hidden space station, checking on final preparations. The station itself was a masterpiece of deception. To Imperial scans, it appeared as nothing more than a small research platform. In reality, it was the command center for Earth's entire orbital defense network. "Status report," he called out as he entered the bridge. His second-in-command looked up from her console. "All defense platforms are in position, sir." "The Empire still hasn't detected them." Walker nodded. Their automated platforms, disguised as space debris, carried Earth's most powerful weapons. Each one was powered by the same quantum technology that made their shields impenetrable. In Geneva, Admiral Stone met with the world's leaders one last time. The massive underground war room buzzed with activity as final reports came in from around the globe. "The Empire will be within strike range in 6 hours," she announced, pointing to the holographic display. "All civilian populations have been moved to shelter beneath the shield coverage." General Cole stepped forward. "Ground forces are in position. Every soldier knows their role. If they break through our orbital defenses, they'll find no easy targets on the ground." Dr. Reed entered the room, carrying his latest breakthrough. "The quantum disruptors are ready. Once they cross this line," he pointed to a marker just past Mars, "we can shut down their faster-than-light drives. They'll have to fight at normal space speeds." The room fell quiet as everyone absorbed this information. Earth had spent years preparing for this moment, turning their apparent weakness into strength. The Empire expected to find a primitive world struggling with basic spaceflight. Instead, they would face an opponent who had studied them for years and prepared accordingly. In orbit, the first line of Earth's defense took shape. Hundreds of small satellites, each one carrying a quantum shield generator, formed an invisible web around the planet. Between them, automated weapon platforms waited in perfect silence. "Final systems check," Captain Walker ordered from his command station. "All units report in." One by one, Earth's hidden fleet commanders responded. Their ships, concealed behind the moon and in Earth's shadow, were ready. Each vessel carried weapons reverse-engineered from Imperial technology, but improved by human innovation. Deep underground, Dr. Torres watched as her final shield generator came online. The display showed a complete network, every major population center protected by overlapping fields of quantum energy. "Shield network is at 100%, she reported through the global command channel. "All generators are synchronized and stable." Admiral Stone stood at the command center's main window, looking up at the sky. Soon, those stars would be filled with Imperial ships, expecting an easy victory. The thought almost made her smile. "Send the final alert to all commands," she ordered. Code name: Lighthouse Awakens. Across Earth, final preparations moved into place. Civilian defense units took their positions in underground shelters. Military personnel manned their stations. Scientists monitored their equipment, ready to adapt to whatever the Empire might throw at them. In his lab, Dr. Reed made one final adjustment to his quantum disruptor network. The small devices, scattered throughout the solar system, would turn space itself against the Imperial fleet. "Remember," Admiral Stone's voice came through the global command channel. "We're not just fighting for Earth. We're fighting for every world the Empire has conquered, every civilization they've destroyed. Today, we show the galaxy that tyranny isn't invincible." As her words echoed through command centers around the world, the first Imperial ships appeared on long-range sensors. Earth's moment of truth was approaching, and humanity was ready to show the galaxy exactly what they could do. The Imperial fleet emerged from hyperspace in perfect formation, 300 warships strong. Their massive hulls blocked out the stars, casting long shadows across space. On the bridge of the Imperial flagship, Lord Marcus watched Earth grow larger on his view screen. "Launch the first wave," he commanded. "Show these primitives the price of defiance." 100 Imperial fighters streaked toward Earth, their weapons charged. Behind them, larger warships moved into bombardment positions. They expected to find a helpless planet. They found something else entirely. Captain Walker stood on his hidden space station's bridge, watching the Imperial ships approach. "Wait for it," he said quietly. "Let them cross the line." The moment the Imperial fighters passed Mars, Dr. Reed's quantum disruptors activated. Suddenly, the Imperial ship's engines flickered and died. Their faster-than-light drives went dark. They were trapped in normal space. "Now," Walker commanded. All around Earth, pieces of space debris came to life. The hidden defense platforms powered up their weapons. Before the Imperial fighters could react, blue energy beams cut through space. 20 fighters vanished in the first volley. Lord Marcus's face turned pale as he watched his first wave crumble. Impossible. Where did those weapons come from? The second surprise came when his remaining fighters fired at Earth. Their energy weapons hit the quantum shields and simply disappeared. No explosion, no impact. The shields absorbed everything without a trace. Admiral Stone's voice broadcasted across all frequencies. "This is your only warning. Leave Earth space immediately or be destroyed." Lord Marcus slammed his fist on his command chair. "Launch all fighters. Begin planetary bombardment." The Empire's remaining ships charged forward, weapons blazing. But Earth was ready. From behind the moon, Earth's hidden fleet emerged. Though smaller than Imperial ships, each one carried weapons that the Empire had never seen before. "All ships, engage," Captain Walker ordered. "Show them what humans can do." Earth's ships moved with impossible speed, their quantum drives letting them appear and disappear across the battlefield. Imperial targeting systems couldn't lock onto them. Their weapons found only empty space where Earth ships had been moments before. In his lab, Dr. Reed watched the battle data flow across his screens. "The quantum disruptors are working perfectly," he reported. "Their ships are limited to normal space combat." The Empire's mighty fleet, used to easy victories, found itself in chaos. Their formations broke apart as Earth's defense platforms picked them apart with precision strikes. Their own weapons were useless against the quantum shields. Lord Marcus watched in horror as another wave of his fighters disappeared into space. "How?" he demanded. "How can they have this technology?" On Earth's hidden space station, Captain Walker allowed himself a small smile. "Launch the Ghost Squadron." A new group of Earth ships appeared, using technology reverse-engineered from Imperial probes, but enhanced by human innovation. They phased through Imperial shields as if they weren't there, their weapons striking directly at the warship's vital systems. "My lord," an Imperial officer reported, panic in his voice, "we've lost 30% of the fleet. Our weapons have no effect on their shields." In Geneva's command center, Admiral Stone watched the battle unfold above. Earth's years of preparation were paying off. The Empire's mighty fleet was being torn apart by an enemy they had fatally underestimated. "Status report," she called out. "Quantum shields holding at 100%, came the response. "No damage to any Earth facilities. Enemy fleet is in disarray." The Empire's first strike had failed completely. Their advanced weapons couldn't penetrate Earth's quantum shields. Their faster-than-light drives were useless. Their superior numbers meant nothing against an enemy they couldn't hit. Lord Marcus stared at his tactical display in disbelief. Half his fleet was gone, destroyed by an enemy that shouldn't have been able to scratch their paint. For the first time in Imperial history, a primitive world was winning. "Full retreat," he ordered, his voice shaking. "Get us out of this system." But as the Imperial ships tried to flee, they discovered one final surprise. Dr. Reed's quantum disruptors had created a trap. They couldn't escape at faster-than-light speed. They would have to retreat the slow way, under fire the entire time. The first battle for Earth was over. The Empire had launched its greatest fleet, expecting an easy victory. Instead, they had found that humans were far more dangerous than they could have imagined. News of Earth's victory spread through the galaxy like wildfire. On Planet Green, one of the Empire's oldest colonies, Governor Smith watched a hidden recording of the battle for the 10th time. His hand shook as he saw Imperial ships falling to Earth's superior technology. "Are you sure this is real?" he asked the messenger, a member of the underground resistance. "Completely sure," the messenger replied. "Earth didn't just fight back. They won." Across the galaxy, on 47 conquered worlds, the same scene played out. Species that had lived under Imperial rule for centuries watched in amazement as Earth's quantum shields and advanced weapons destroyed the supposedly invincible Imperial fleet. In the Imperial Palace, Emperor Richard faced his first real crisis. "How did this happen?" he demanded, looking at his gathered advisors. The Great Hall, usually a place of power, now felt cold and uncertain. Lord Marcus stepped forward, still bearing the shame of defeat. "Your Majesty, we've confirmed that Earth has been sharing their shield technology with other worlds." "Impossible." The Emperor slammed his fist on his throne. "Our blockades are being bypassed." Lord Marcus interrupted. "Earth vessels can phase through our defenses. They're arming every resistance movement in the galaxy." On Earth, Admiral Stone met with the Global Council. The holographic display showed dozens of worlds where resistance movements had sprung up. "Planet Green has declared independence," she reported. 3 more worlds are preparing to do the same. Our quantum shield technology has given them hope." Dr. Reed added, "We've simplified the shield designs. Any world with basic industrial capacity can build them now. The Empire can't stop it from spreading." Captain Walker's voice came through the command channel. "Admiral, our deep space networks are picking up massive resistance activities. The Empire's grip is breaking." In the Centauri system, the first major uprising began. The local species, armed with Earth's shield technology, drove out their Imperial governors. Their success inspired others. Within days, 5 more systems declared their independence. "Send the support fleet," Admiral Stone ordered. Earth's ships, now modified for long-range operations, moved to protect the newly free worlds. The Empire tried to respond, but their old tactics no longer worked. Their weapons couldn't penetrate the quantum shields. Their faster-than-light drives were useless against Dr. Reed's disruptors. Every attempt to crush the rebellions ended in failure. On Planet Blue, Governor Jones watched his garrison surrender to local forces. The rebels carried weapons of Earth design, perfect copies of the technology that had humbled the Imperial fleet. "Listen to me," he begged the rebel leader. "The Empire will send more ships. You can't." "We can," the rebel leader interrupted. "Earth has shown us the way. Your time is over." Back on Earth, Dr. Torres worked with scientists from a dozen alien species. They gathered in her lab, sharing knowledge and improving the quantum shield technology. "Together, we're stronger than the Empire ever was," she told them. "They ruled through fear. We'll unite through cooperation." Admiral Stone received hourly updates on the spreading revolution. 20 worlds free, then 30. The Empire's strength had always been its ability to crush resistance quickly. But they couldn't crush what they couldn't hit. In orbit, Captain Walker coordinated the defense network that protected Earth and its allies. Imperial ships still tested their defenses, but without their usual confidence. Each defeat spread more fear through Imperial ranks. Another Imperial fleet retreating from Sector 7, his officer reported. They didn't even try to engage the rebel forces. The Empire's greatest weapon had always been fear. For centuries, they had ruled by convincing everyone that resistance was pointless. Earth had broken that spell. Now, every conquered world could see the truth. The Empire wasn't invincible. In her command center, Admiral Stone watched the galaxy map fill with free worlds. Earth had done more than defend itself. It had given hope to billions of oppressed beings across the stars. "Send the message to all resistance forces," she ordered. "Earth stands with you. The time of empire is ending. The time of freedom has begun." As her words spread across space, more worlds rose up. The empire that had seemed eternal just weeks ago was crumbling. And at the center of it all was Earth, the planet that had dared to say no. The revolution wasn't just spreading, it was winning. Emperor Richard stood in his war room, watching holographic displays of his crumbling empire. 40 worlds lost. His mighty fleet in retreat everywhere. But he had one last weapon, one final chance to crush this rebellion. "Bring forth the planet killer," he commanded. Deep in Imperial space, a massive ship emerged from its hidden dock. 3 times larger than any normal warship, the planet killer carried a weapon designed to crack worlds apart. It had only been used once before, as a demonstration. Now, the Emperor would use it to send a message. "Target Earth," he ordered. "Show the galaxy what happens to those who defy us." On Earth, Dr. Reed's early warning network detected the massive energy signature. He burst into the Geneva Command Center, his face pale. "Admiral Stone, they've activated something big. Energy readings are off the charts." Admiral Stone studied the data. "Get me Captain Walker. Now." In orbit, Captain Walker received the emergency transmission. His sensors confirmed the approaching threat. The planet killer was moving faster than any normal Imperial ship, pushing its engines beyond safety limits. "All defense platforms to maximum power," he ordered. "This is what we've prepared for." Dr. Torres rushed into her lab beneath Moscow. Her quantum shield generators were already at full power, but this new threat required something more. "Initialize the quantum teleportation grid," she commanded her team. "We're not just going to stop them. We're going to turn their weapon against them." The planet killer appeared at the edge of the solar system, its massive form blocking out the stars. Lord Marcus stood on its bridge, a cold smile on his face. "No shield can stop this weapon," he announced to his crew. "Earth's defiance ends today." But Earth was ready. As the planet killer charged its main weapon, Dr. Reed activated his latest creation. Quantum disruption fields spread through space, more powerful than ever before. "Their weapon is powering up," Captain Walker reported from his station. "Energy levels are beyond anything we've seen." Admiral Stone's voice was calm as she gave the order. "Execute Operation Mirror." The quantum teleportation grid activated. It was Earth's most closely guarded secret, developed by combining human creativity with Imperial technology. As the planet killer fired its world-destroying beam, something impossible happened. The beam hit Earth's quantum shields and vanished. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, through the quantum teleportation grid, the energy reappeared, behind the planet killer, aimed at its own engines. Lord Marcus barely had time to realize what had happened. Impossible. Full power to rear shields. But the planet killer's shields, designed to protect against normal weapons, couldn't stop its own energy beam. The massive ship's engines exploded, sending it spinning out of control. "All ships, attack," Admiral Stone commanded. Earth's fleet emerged from quantum space, their weapons charged. The planet killer, its main weapon useless and its engines destroyed, could only watch as Earth's ships surrounded it. "This is Captain Walker to Imperial forces. Your super weapon has failed. Surrender or be destroyed." In his war room, Emperor Richard watched in horror as his ultimate weapon drifted helplessly in space. The planet killer, which had cost more than 1,000 normal warships, had been defeated in less than an hour. Lord Marcus looked at his ruined ship's controls. "Send the surrender signal," he ordered quietly. "It's over." On Earth, crowds emerged from their shelters to watch the light show in the sky. The quantum shields shimmered with blue energy as they powered down. Humanity had faced the Empire's greatest weapon and turned it back on itself. Dr. Reed and Dr. Torres met in the command center, both exhausted but smiling. "The quantum teleportation grid worked perfectly," Dr. Torres reported. "Their own weapon did most of the work for us." Admiral Stone looked at the tactical display. The Empire's last desperate attack had failed completely. Their greatest weapon was now a wreck in space, a monument to human ingenuity triumphing over brute force. "Send word to all resistance forces," she ordered. "The planet killer is destroyed. The Empire's last weapon is gone." Across the galaxy, the news spread quickly. The Empire's ultimate weapon, designed to terrorize worlds into submission, had been defeated by the same planet that had dared to say no. The end of the Empire was now inevitable. Their military was broken, their superweapon destroyed, and their myth of invincibility shattered forever. Earth had not just survived. It had shown the galaxy that even the mightiest tyranny could fall to determined resistance and human innovation. 3 months after the planet killer's destruction, representatives from 50 worlds gathered in Geneva's Grand Assembly Hall. The same room where Earth had first defied the Empire now hosted the birth of something new: the Alliance of Free Worlds. Admiral Stone stood at the podium, looking at the diverse gathering before her. Beings from across the galaxy, once subjects of the Empire, now sat as equals. "The Empire's last strongholds surrendered yesterday," she announced. The room erupted in cheers. "For the first time in 500 years, the galaxy is free." In orbit, Captain Walker watched from the observation deck as ships from dozens of worlds moved peacefully through space. Earth's quantum shield technology had spread throughout the galaxy, but now it protected trade ships instead of warships. "Status report," he called to his officer. "All clear, sir. The Imperial Palace surrendered this morning. Emperor Richard is in custody. The war is officially over." In his laboratory, Dr. Reed worked with scientists from 20 different species. They had gathered to share knowledge, combining their unique perspectives with Earth's innovation. "The quantum network is expanding," he explained, pointing to a galactic map. "Soon, ships will be able to travel anywhere in the galaxy almost instantly." Dr. Torres entered the lab, carrying new shield designs. "The trading ships are already using the simplified versions," she reported. "No more pirates, no more raiders. Space travel has never been safer." In the former Imperial Palace, now the headquarters of the Alliance, Lord Marcus stood trial for his crimes. But the trial was different from what the Empire would have done. It was fair, just, and focused on truth rather than revenge. "The Empire ruled through fear," the judge announced. "The Alliance will rule through justice and cooperation." Back on Earth, Admiral Stone met with the Global Council. The holographic display showed a galaxy transformed. Where Imperial warships once patrolled, merchant vessels now moved freely. Former slave worlds had become trading partners. "Earth's population has already passed 10 billion, she reported. "With the new colonies and trading partners, humanity's future has never been brighter." General Cole added, "The former Imperial armies are being converted into peacekeeping forces. They're learning to protect rather than conquer." On Planet Green, the first world to rebel after Earth's victory, Governor Smith watched the sun rise over a free world. The quantum shields that had once defended against Imperial attacks now powered cities and farms. "We owe Earth everything," he told his people. "They showed us that resistance was possible. that freedom was worth fighting for. In the Geneva Assembly Hall, representatives voted on the new Alliance Charter. Its first principle was simple: no world could rule over another. Each planet was free to choose its own path, united only by mutual respect and cooperation. Dr. Reed stood before the assembly, presenting his latest breakthrough. "The quantum technology that defended us can do so much more," he explained. "It can end energy shortages, solve transportation problems, even heal environmental damage." In orbit, Captain Walker received a message from a former Imperial world. They had found ancient records of their original culture, hidden away during the Empire's rule. Now, with Earth's help, they could reclaim their heritage. "Send them everything they need," he ordered. "Every world deserves to know its history." Admiral Stone walked through Geneva's streets, looking up at the night sky. Stars that had once seemed distant and threatening now represented opportunities and friendships. "Final report, Admiral," her aide said. "The last Imperial database has been decoded. We found the locations of 3 more enslaved worlds. Send the Liberation Fleet," she ordered. "And make sure they bring teachers and doctors, not just soldiers." In the Grand Assembly Hall, the representatives of 50 worlds stood together. Above them, a new flag unfurled, not the harsh symbol of the Empire, but a design showing many worlds linked together as equals. "Let history record," Admiral Stone declared, "that the galaxy's greatest empire was defeated not by superior weapons or larger armies, but by the simple human desire to be free." As her words echoed through the hall, ships from Earth carried hope to the farthest corners of space. The empire that had ruled for 5 centuries had been replaced by something stronger. A galaxy of free worlds, united in peace. Earth had done more than defend itself. It had shown the galaxy a better way to live. The future was bright, and it belonged to everyone. And somewhere in that vast ocean of stars, other tyrannies would learn an important lesson. Never underestimate humans who fight for freedom.